Yeah, I'm sorry, I said that was a lost part, but I lost my chain of thought and I'm gonna seal it in this one part. I was speaking about Mount Weather in the 100, how it is that Lincoln got made into a brute beast because they caused him to get addicted to some kind of a drug that they also used, pairing it like classical conditioning to some stimulus, that if at all he went out of boundaries, they would just hurt him with this funny little thing that they pressed. It made some funny sound, it had funny frequencies that upon entering his brain kind of fried it or something. In the show The 100, all of these strategies that they use, oh my goodness, is that me being naked all up in your grill? All of these strategies that they use against people in movies, they're doing it in the human race, but without it being so stark, so overt, and so barbaric looking. They are doing it all in order to control us, such that if at all we get off this drug that they've put us on, they then press some button to cause our brains to basically fry, like Lincoln in the show The 100. The taking away of power, the taking away, the extracting of electricity, basic needs of the citizens on the ground after getting them used to them for all of these years, is essentially the tantamount of classically conditioning them, pairing a stimulus with some kind of a drug, that when like certain things are pressed, we start to panic and freak out and become pandemonious, and so we then end up happy to hunt or harvest or farm essentially other human beings on behalf of the elite, like literally calling out your own family member to be arrested or caught by some strange structure or regime when before you would never have been one to be that disloyal. That is what in the world is going on right now. We are being conditioned, guys. Yazini. I'm glad I'm smart, but at the same time it kind of hurts me to be clever, because I see stuff in basic things that I've learned before in academia. I can't help but notice, albeit not being able to sufficiently warn and tell people what's going on, the fact that they are using psychological tools that are very powerful on the human race in a very general setting, in the sense that it's over entire population groups, experimentation at that height. I spoke earlier about predictive programming in Hollywood movies that show what's actually happening on the ground. Just the creation of drones in human beings that imagine what they're seeing in the movie is dystopian, but they don't recognize themselves as that dystopian society, those mindless drones, because they've got so much more life in them than what it is that is the depicted picture in the movies. Like, for instance, in the Resident Evil, the zombies, the experimentation in just Raccoon City, quarantining just that site in order to see if you can't control an entire society using some kind of a virus. The Walking Dead, it usually starts in some kind of a laboratory of irresponsible human beings doing stuff, and then it spreads badly and creates a dystopian society that they did not sign up for, that nobody signed up for. Nobody expected to basically humiliate or decimate the culture of humanity like that, take out the image of God out of people like that. But that's what happened. So I guess, since it's happened, then let the umbrella corporation run the few people that are left alive, and everybody else that is a zombie is going to do the agenda of the umbrella corporation. There is no cure. I'm sorry. We basically threw the world to the dogs. They keep on keep on telling that to us. In movies in Hollywood, they keep on showing us that they are creating a society of zombies, and it's not that they want to do that. They kind of hope to create a society of docile servants that are happy to serve, but the end result is unfortunately zombies. So I guess since we're dealing with zombies, we're just gonna have to take it in our stride. The devil has been telling you what he's doing, what he's gonna do, and y'all are just like imaginative of the fact that it can't possibly be you, because you're not a zombie in Resident Evil. Except, are you not, on the day when you've been made an addict of electricity and it gets taken away and you get aggressive as a result, not a product of an experiment? We just react to things they give us and then take them away. The psychological manipulation tactics or strategies that they use are conditioning, classical conditioning, like with Pavlov's dogs, and operant conditioning with negative and positive reinforcement to refashion your behavior, how you act, who you plead your allegiance to, who you call out, who you sever alliances with, who you decide is worth your while to serve. And since they've gotten you addicted to the I guess cocaine shot, heroin shot of convenience, it is whoever it is that is able to provide you with convenience that in the future you are going to plead your allegiance to, whether or not they have got any kind of moral character that is worth your while to fashion your life after. So essentially just a whole bunch of mindless drones in the world that have forgotten their first love, Jesus Christ. People who are going to utterly and entirely neglect the image of God in them in favor of convenience. Just give me food. Like grunting, literally reduction to animals. I just want to pee, and I just want to defecate, and I also want to eat, and I want to sleep. And if at all you can help me get all of that stuff in convenience alongside giving me electricity and Wi-Fi, internet basically, with like great shelter, if you can provide those basic things for me, I will plead my allegiance to you, notwithstanding that God is to be worshipped and him only, in spite of being brought low or being given much, in spite of abounding and being brought low. In spite of having much, you will have a godliness with contentment that is great again. And in spite of recognizing that apart from him you can do nothing. The king of the universe himself had nowhere to lay his head down at night, even though foxes had dens. Do you understand? Animals have holes in which they can hide, and yet Christ had nowhere to lay his head. But you will plead allegiance to a man that is going to say, I'll give you a pillow and a bed to sleep in and a house. Do you understand? If you will worship me, when the Lord said you shall worship no other God but me. So they give you convenience from the times when you had none. You had only candles for light. You had only like clay houses. You get my point. Now you've got these beautiful brick and mortar structures that are able to shelter you even against the baddest of storms. And you also have electricity and Wi-Fi. And the moment they take it away from you for just 2 days, you are already happy to sign a deal with the devil. It is all in order to usher in the insanity of the human race to worship the devil, the Antichrist. That is the internet of people. The technologization, like Russell Brand's term, of human beings. And if you don't give your life to the Lord, you're not going to be able to spot these things. You're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to gauge the curse. You're not going to be able to recognize yourself as Pavlov's dog, that you have been made to salivate at the sound of a metronome. You're not going to be able to spot that you are literally a scientific experiment gone wrong. And now that you've become a zombie, I mean, I guess we got to work with what we got. Like, these global elites don't even know what they're doing. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. But the end result is literally a world of mindless drones. They don't know what they're doing. Their intention is not to create mindless drones, but guess whose intention it is to create mindless drones? Satan. We war not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. And so unless you want to be somebody that literally is mobilized to move your hands at the click of a button, you will give your life to Jesus Christ. And that button will be Wi-Fi. It will be internet. It will be food. It will be any pleasure of this earth. And upon seeking after it, you lover of pleasure, you, and not a lover of God, you will inevitably take the mark of the beast, because it promises some level of comfort in a world where all these comforts that once upon a time were provided for you so readily, so easily in a thriving society and a thriving economy have now been snatched away. And so, like in the Hunger Games, you will scrummage for scraps and kill other people rather than in yourself be killed, just to acquire these tiny little things that are given you where before they were given you in abundance. So watch out for a shortage of water, food, electricity, Wi-Fi, etc. But in the middle of that, watch out for Christ, because he's coming back. I'm sending out in Christ's name, Cran K. Peace. Hi. How's it? So we decided to go to the Mug and Bean to ride out podcast. That by the time we left home at 6 p.m, 5:35, there was still no power, so we came to eat, and I had a burger. And now that I've burped, I'm annoyed that there's still no power. This is South Africa. Like, they're messing with trade and industry, and they are causing people to spend money that they didn't quite sign up to spend. So I don't know, while everybody's like, bon appetit, bon appetit, bon appetit. I'm like, what's so bon appetit? Nothing, okay? Nothing. We're going home in the rapture, like it's over.